talked about what a funnel is and what a clinical freedom funnel is. Now in this video, what we're going to be chatting about is, first of all, why your website is probably not working or doing its job for you, what it actually should be doing, and what you need to have on it. And so many physios and therapists and websites that I look at are really well, okay, they look the part, okay, they look brilliant, they paid loads of money to be designed, and they've had a really expensive web designer who understands everything about designing websites and understands very little about the process of why a person might decide to work with a physio in general. Okay, so they set up your websites to look professional and look great, but your websites don't do what they should. All right, and the only thing your website really needs to do, okay, is prove that you're a legit business for a lot of maybe older people. All right, and the second thing is generate leads. All right, that's it. Okay, they're the two things a website for a physio or a healthcare pro or a therapist. That's the only two things your website needs to be doing: generating leads and just validating your business. Okay, otherwise you don't even need it. All right, and the guys who charge loads and loads of money for building them and make them look sleek, okay, they are setting them up for businesses that are not like healthcare. Okay, they are setting them up to in their eyes, they work really well in other industries, but they don't work well when we're trying to market healthcare. All right. So your website, okay, as I said, it needs to do two things, and this is really important, because what you need to do after watching this video is go back and look at your website and check if it does these two things. All right. So it shows. So in this video, we're going to talk about what your website needs to do, okay, and we're going to be talking about how you can structure your website or your web page. All right. So the first thing is, these are typical websites, okay? Apologies if you are the owner of these sites and you're watching this training, all right? I haven't revealed the names of them. I'm here in Dublin in Ireland. I went on Google, okay, these were the first two that popped up, and they have the same problem that most physio websites do, all right? So if people only wait on a website for about 7 seconds, all right? Now the first thing is, as soon as somebody lands on your website, they need to feel like they're in the right place. Okay. Now, obviously, if they Google physio and the first website, they're going to feel like once they get a physio or a therapist, they're going to feel like they're in the right place anyway. Okay, but what I mean really is they need to feel like you're a specialist who can solve their problem. Okay. If they don't get that straight away, they're gone off your website again. So this first one, okay, this is part of their fold, all right? So the fold is, let's say if we take our phone here now and we open a website, okay, the fold is what we see before we scroll. So this is the first part in their landing page. Now this bottom one here, okay, they're literally asking for my email address, asking for my phone number without giving me anything. Okay, why would I do that? Okay, it's a bit like me going down the street and just asking someone randomly, okay, or asking someone randomly, can I have your phone number? Okay, not even saying anything else. Okay, we don't do that in normal life, all right? But this is what they're doing with their website, all right? Or this other website, I'm not even sure what's going on here, okay? We can fully assess your foot problems and can prescribe orthotics if required. So unless you literally have a foot problem, okay, and you're looking for an orthotic, you're not going to stay in that website. But I guarantee you, if they're a physio clinic, which they are, okay, that's not their main audience. So what you need to have is, the first thing a person needs to see is, it should be catering for your dream client, and it should be telling them how you can solve their problems. People don't care about your degrees. They don't care about your qualifications. They don't care if you're 20 years in the industry. They care if you can help them or not. All right? That's what they care about, and that's what your website needs to do. So I'm just going to tell you a quick story here, guys, because this happened to us as well, right? We thought we needed a website, okay? We actually got a quote. This is probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe a little bit less. It was about 1,500 quid, all right? Now, 1,500 quid to build a site. We thought, yeah, will we pay this cash for it? We had no money, okay? And we had no clients, okay? So we were about to lay out 1,500 quid, and we had no money coming in. Now, went to another group, okay, of web designers, like, how much is the website? They were charging us 200 quid a page, and they were telling us we needed a minimum of 5 pages, okay? And then we went to another crowd, and they were saying we'd give you a ready-to-go template, but it's 50 quid an hour just to edit it or to make any changes. And we were thinking, this is madness, like, as in we're spending all this money, and we have no clients coming in. I see so many people do this, all right? You don't need to do this, all right? Especially online, okay? It's way more important that you're working on building a sales process that converts before you even think about getting a website. All right, I've made to be honest, like we have scalable programs that we can make over £1,000 a month on putting in maybe an hour to a week's work, and we don't need a website for it. All right, so you don't need websites, okay? Straight off the off, okay? And when you do, you need to set them up properly. So this was ours, so we thought this would look great, but to be honest, no, thanks. We can't afford it because we have no clients. So some don't fall in the trap of just getting a website before you have clients, all right? Now, a simple landing page will do, a one-page website that doesn't cost much, all right? But this is kind of worth considering, right? If a website does not generate leads, it doesn't work, all right? And it's just an expensive part of your business. It's a bit like this old phone booth, okay? They look nice for a photograph, all right? But you never actually use it for anything else. So what are the people doing differently who get leads on their websites? That's the question we ask, all right? And I went to my own mentor and asked him what he was doing with his website, and he probably showed me other people's who was working quite well. And then the more we learned about this, especially trying to track people online, the more we learned that your website needs to attract you or your dream clients, okay? And then you're just starting that process of building a relationship with them, that know, like, and trust factor, all right? So why do you have a website? That's the first thing I want you to consider, all right? Maybe you need to prove you're a real business. Maybe it's to generate leads, okay? Maybe it's just something you want to have, all right? But I'd urge you to consider why you actually have a website in the first place, all right? And then figure out what you want that website to do. So your website should always be working towards your clinical freedom funnel. All right, so your website should always be working on trying to get you new leads on autopilot, all right, 24/7. So the basics. Now, the first thing, okay, is we need hosting and we need a domain name when you do go setting this up. Now, hosting is just the place where your website lives in the cloud. And the cloud is just the online space where it lives, all right? There's loads and loads of different companies that do this, all right? And a domain name is just your website address. So like www.physio.com, all right, whatever your address is. Now, there's loads of software out there. Okay, there's like WordPress is the biggest in the world probably, Wix, ClickFunnels, Lead Pages. There's loads and loads of these softwares that you can literally go and build out a landing page in about 10 minutes. All right, they have ready to made formulas or templates, and they're pretty much ideal for what you want for now. You don't need an expensive web designer at all yet. All right, now this is where we go through what we need on the page. So the home page is essentially the start of your funnel, okay? Above the fold, okay, so when I mean above the fold, I'm again talking about on the phone, okay, so if above the fold, just this part that I can see on a website before I actually scroll down, all right? And it's the first thing a person sees when they land on your website. And it's critical to make sure they don't leave instantly. So give yourself some chance. So it needs to tell them they're in the right place straight away, all right? So if you have something up on your website like chartered physiotherapist in X, Y, or Z town, people don't know they're in the right service. If you say we can cater for A to Z and it's a million different conditions or treatments, why would they wait with you? Because they're thinking, how can this person help me? That they can help everybody. I want a specialist. All right, so an example of a headline you could have. A headline is just a piece of text there. It might be one that we helped a guy set up before, okay? This was pretty okay. It was a pretty decent one, but it was, again, calling out his dream client, all right? So they knew they were in the right place, and anybody else knew that maybe they weren't in the right place. That's what your website needs to do. And it said, we help older active adults get rid of back pain and get back doing the activities they love doing using our 7-step framework. All right, so if I clicked on that and I was an older adult with back pain who was an active older adult, I might be like, I'm interested in finding out a bit more about that 7-step framework. All right, not the best name for it, but I'm interested, so I'm hooked, and I'm probably going to scroll a little bit more. If I'm someone who's 35 who lands on that site, I'm going to leave, okay? But again, this person, their dream client, wasn't a 35-year-old with back pain, so that's a good thing, all right, because it was attracting the right people. And remember, if a picture tells 1,000 words, a video tells a story, all right? So often a video is brilliant to have on your website. That could be a video testimonial, but we'll talk through that a little bit more, okay? So your intro, okay, is what you need to do is you need to kind of answer this question. They're thinking in their head, right? Am I in the right place? So you need to hopefully answer that question for them. And once you've done that, then we can introduce you, who you are in your business. Nobody cares about where you studied or your qualifications, okay? Once you're pretty much registered as a physio or a healthcare pro, people don't care after that, all right? They do not give a crap whether you've done a million courses or whether you have 25 years experience. They care about whether you can give them a solution to their problem. They need to know that you can help them solve the problem. So we talk about on our website how we can help them. We don't talk about ourselves, all right? So then after you have an intro, you might have something like, how do I learn more? Okay, so at this stage, okay, we should have piqued their interest, and then we tell them how we can help, all right? And this shouldn't be confusing. This shouldn't be Netflix, okay? So what I mean, have you ever gone on Netflix and you said, oh, I don't know what I'm going to watch? And you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for 20 minutes, and then you're like, oh man, I've nothing chosen, and you just get off Netflix, all right? Or you just throw on something for the sake of it. So we call this call to action, okay? It's just a button that you have, and really you only want on your landing page 1, 2, or 3 things max. So you should have a phone number there somewhere if you're an offline clinic. If you're an online clinic or you're trying to sell a product online or a coaching service online, really all you need is an email address, all right? And it should be just 1, 2, or 3 buttons max. So let's say if 100 people land on your website, okay, and you're an offline clinic, and 15 of those are maybe looking for treatment right now, okay, and 15% of people out of that 100 are possibly actually going to call, okay? That's really good, okay? That means 85% of people are too awkward. They're never going to call you directly, all right? Or maybe they're never going to email you directly. So are you just going to let them walk out of your world and go to the next website? No, you're not. You're going to maybe give them some content, okay, some lead gen product, get them into your sales process, and then you're going to reach out and communicate with them in the coming days, all right? That's what you're going to do if you're smart. So when we have our content, okay, we need to be talking to a person's pain points or their emotions and their desires. So copywriting is key. Copywriting are just the words we use, okay? So once you said chartered physio, okay, that's great if you are a chartered physio. To be honest, if you're a physical therapist or a neuromuscular therapist, some kind of other therapist or healthcare pro, you probably get great results anyway. But copywriting is key. And copywriting is just the words that we use on our website to speak to a person's pains, emotions, and desires. All right. So I'm going to give you a brief look at this. All right. If you want this PDF, okay, you can reach out and get in touch with us. We'll happily give it to you. All right. Or take a screenshot of it. But this would be a pretty good layout for an initial website page. So you might have a logo of your clinic. You might have your bar across the top. Then you have a headline, which is unique service. So you're kind of calling out your dream client. All right. And then this would be really good because you'd have a special video for them. And that could even be a testimonial from a person who is like your dream client. And they might say, wow, they got that result for a person similar to me. Okay. And let's say if you're working with CrossFitters, there's no point putting an older active adult here in your video. You should put a CrossFitter here. Okay. If you're working with GA players or sports people, no point putting a person who's a chronic pain for 10 years there. You need a sports person that you got a result with. And there's a way of doing testimonials that works, and there's a way that doesn't. Okay, there's a way that sounds salesy and a way that doesn't sound salesy at all. And we can help you with that, all right? But this is how you would lay it out, okay? And then this might be simple. Want help to decide if physical therapy is right for you right now. So you're not pressuring anyone. You're just giving them a couple of simple calls to action. So maybe they want to talk to somebody on the phone. Maybe they don't. Maybe they want to inquire about a taster session. Maybe you have a free course or a clinical freedom funnel or something like that that you can give them access to for now to help build a know, like, and trust and become an expert so that when they are ready to buy, they'll buy off you. Okay. So can they trust you? This is what your website is really answering. Are they thinking it's too good to be true? If they are, you need to add in some success stories and testimonials. Show that you have helped people just like them. All right. So social proof is key. Don't make this up. All right. If you do, it always bites you in the arse, all right? So social proof is literally other people saying they got a great result with your service, and then you talk about how you could give that result to somebody else who's very similar to that person. All right. Now, once you've gotten an email address, okay, your homepage is basically the start of a sales letter. So what I mean that it's the start of a sales letter, it's the start of building a relationship. And the idea is that it should take them on a journey which ends at the bottom with a clear call to action. Okay, not too many, don't confuse them, just 1, 2, okay, call to actions, all right? And offer them something of value for their email address. So you're giving them a free result, okay? You're giving them value before you've ever asked for anything in return. And if they're not ready to phone, that's okay. You're going to maybe get their email address, get their phone number, and make contact with them in a few days once they've gone through your sales process. All right. That's what your website should be doing, okay? So then once you've got it converting, all right, and it's generating leads for you every month, only when it's doing that, then you should worry about these other things, all right? These are the pages worth adding. Maybe a home page, an about, services, success stories, a blog if you want, and a contact us. That's literally the only things you need on a website for now, all right? But the last thing I'll mention as well is a couple of additional things. And this just means, okay, an SSL certificate is really important. And that's this little, if you look in the top left corner, there's a little lock, okay, beside the start of every website's name. And that just tells that website is secure. So sometimes people look for that and say, is this website safe? You also need a website that loads pretty quickly and that opens up really well on a mobile device. So about 70% of people scroll and spend their time on their phones, okay, most of the time when they're searching anything on Google nowadays. So very few people actually sit down on a laptop and search for services they want. All right. So there's three reasons really we use our phone, okay? To entertain ourselves, to avoid stuff, and to solve a problem. So make sure your website is compatible with a phone. Now, if you want, okay, underneath this video, we have a little document that literally talks you through all these processes. So you can literally, after you watch this video, get that document, go through your website, tick the boxes, and make sure that your website is a lead generating machine, nothing else.